Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Wow, Lori, this is unbelievable. Mexico government is trying to make it simpler for the tourists coming in here that they don't have to go through the trouble of immigration.
Really?
Really, Lori?
Really?
This is amazing.
Wow, it's so amazing and unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And so what it is Mexico government is starting a new program where they are going to get rid of that form, the FFM form of the tourist card, and they're going to let you come in and just stamp a passport and come right into Mexico.
For 180 days.
180 days.
Wow.
Well, Mexico government immigration department has just come out with a new program, and what they're going to be doing is that you're not going to be needing the FMM tourist card anymore. They're going to stamp in your passport how many days that you'll be able to stay in Mexico. So typically, when you flew in or you're flying in, on the airline, they pass out a little form, and it's called an FMM. You fill that out, so you put things like your passport number, your name, male or female, this type of information, the hotel you may be staying at or where you're going to be staying at. And then you would then, when you went into immigration, you would hand it to them, and then they would stamp on there or write in there how many days they were going to allow you. Well, they're going to streamline this process. So the idea is you don't have to fill out that form on the airplane. You'll come up to the immigration officer and you'll just hand them your passport. And what they will do is then they're going to stamp in it on how many days that they are going to allow you to stay in Mexico. Now, the maximum amount of time legally that you're allowed to stay in Mexico is 180 days. What they're going to do is they're going to stamp in it. Now, this is very important, very, very important. You have to be proactive. You have to make sure once they stamped it and how many days they have written in it, look at it. Because a lot of times when you're in their airport and you're going through all this stuff, it's a little bit, fast moving and a little helter-skelter and stuff like that. So take the time when you're there, when they stamp it, when they hand you back your passport, take a look at it and make sure how many days are put in there. If you're new to our program and you haven't heard, we have a program where you actually can make a private phone consultation with me, and we can get together on the phone and answer a lot of these questions maybe that we're looking at in this particular video. So check out that. You can ask them before they stamp it if you want 180 days to please give you 180 days. This way you can have that 6 months to travel here. Sometimes people come in and they're just going to stay 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They're going to be at an Airbnb, a hotel, friend's house and stuff. And so they may say, well, I only need 30 days. And then the immigration officer may write 30 days, and they may even still write 180 days.
Please subscribe, thumb up, and make a comment.
And don't forget, ring that bell. That's very important.
Ding, 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 ding.
They even still write 180 days. Okay, but be careful and watch that. Supposedly, this process is going to be much faster and streamlined the whole process for you. So we'll find out because it's a new program. For us that have a temporary or a permanent resident card visa here, the procedure is basically going to be the same. When you get to the airport, before you go to check in, you go to the immigration office, and before you filled out your FMM form, and then you would have to turn that in to the airline. They would then tear off a portion of it and leave the remainder for you. Well, now when you get to the immigration window there, counter, you just hand them your passport. They'll ask you a few questions and they'll just stamp in your passport. So then you'll check in, you have that in your passport. Now this is very important. When you come back into the country, you're going to go, again, the same procedure. You're going to go into the immigration officer and you're going to hand him your passport. And then he is going to stamp in there that you re-entered back into the country, but make sure that he did not make a mistake and put in there the 180-day stamp on it, indicating that you now were just a tourist and you weren't a permanent or a temporary resident. This could cause a lot of problems in the future. So double check when you go through that it is stamped that you are the temporary or the permanent resident visa. Be proactive on that. It's very important. Now, for you that are applying for a temporary visa or a permanent visa, the requirements are that you have to fill out these forms. So you'll need to contact the Mexican consulate in your area and ask them what you need to have. As an example, you're going to need to show bank statements of 6 months worth of income coming in, and you're going to have to print those out, and it has to be 6 consecutive months. You'll present that to them. You'll have photographs you'll be needing, and there's some other things. But check that out with the consulate office before you go in there so you have everything ready in the packet. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to ask you to have this old form, which is the FMM form. You may need and probably are going to need to download that form. So download that form. This way, when you go in, they can attach that to your immigration paper. You're going to need to have a FM form for each person coming in. So if there's 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, you're going to have to download 4 of those for each person and use that in the process of getting your proper paperwork done before you come into Mexico. So now you'll come into Mexico and they give you 30 days to finish the second part of the immigration process. You come into Mexico, you will go to the immigration office in Mexico in the area that say you're staying in. We recommend getting a immigration attorney to assist you on this type of procedures. But they're going to ask that you have this FMM hard copy. You make a copy of that. It's attached to your application, and then you present it. And then once you're approved, they have about 30 days to issue you your temporary visa or your permanent visa. If by chance you're coming in, let's say by land, you're driving, or maybe you're coming in by boat, you have a sailboat, you're coming in by boat, this is another thing that could cause you some problems because they may not have the FMM form there anymore. So again, download it, be prepared, have that already for them, because in those places, they may not be implementing this same process of just stamping it in your passport. Because this is such a new program, there's probably going to be a lot of changes going on in the next few months until all the immigration offices around Mexico coordinate together and have the same program working, because not all places that you come in may have implemented this new program. In other words, you could be at a small airport or driving in, and then that type of a program. They may be using still the old information. That's why it's important to download that FMM and have that already filled out for them, because they may not have it at that destination as you come across the border. And then what are you going to do? You're going to have to, find a computer. You're going to have to be able to print it out. You're going to have to make a copy. I mean, it's just really going to be a lot of work. So simplify your life. Be prepared before you get into any situation when you're dealing with the Mexican government, and be prepared. So you have to be proactive. Make a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. Do you think it's a good idea to have this program of simplifying the visa program? Give us your ideas on that.
Yeah, and make a comment. For you.
Did you know that every Friday at 5 p.m. California time, we produce a free video for you? Check it out.